Here we go. Gibson L-O-O. Here she is. She's a pretty, got a walnut, a mahogany neck. This special compounded sort of neck jointer, a special neck jointer. Don't know what the word for it is. Does it really matter? Not really. Okay, so. Yeah, really nice guitar. Lovely sunburst finish on this one. It's a 2019 I bought it in. I should say I bought it in 2019. It was made in 2015. So effectively it's 10 years old now. So, okay, let's talk about some of the things that I didn't like when I first got the guitar, because they are just as important as the things about the guitar that you do like. So things I didn't like was the string height, the action. It was astronomically high, so high, so much so that it was virtually unplayable. So that's how it was set from the factory. So this saddle was really high up. So I had to buy, well, not just one saddle because I'm not a luthier. I went through about 6 saddles to try and intonate this particular guitar and get the action right. And I've done it in the end. Wow, what a job. Because I'm not a luthier, I'm a guitar player. I'm not a maestro or anything. I'm just a bedroom guitar player. And that's it, and I know that. But I like my guitars to play in tune, because if they're out of tune, it sounds dreadful. I'm going to play you a little sample of somebody who was playing a guitar on a street performance, and they're accompanying a young lady who is absolutely a massive, and I'm talking 6.29 million subscribers she has, and she's a phenomenal singer, and he was playing the guitar and I could see her cringing, you know, she cringed, she went when he was playing the notes. There is nothing worse than someone playing a guitar or any stringed instrument, which is so what I've gone on with this one, and it's sort of been when you've done slightly out of tune, you know. You know, and it's so annoying, it really is. I mean, you could fix it in the software, but should you? No, not really. You know, you like your guitar to play in tune. So, and if that's happening, I'm a happy guy. And some days it depends on the strings, depends on the temperature, a lot of factors. There's a lot of variables that will affect how your guitar plays and whether it plays in tune. So, and you might need to adjust your truss rod or whatever it'll be or even change the gauge of your strings or your plectrum. Even the thickness of plectrum you use will affect the overall tone. So, but what I was going to say about this guitar was that the tension on it, the string tension, was really strong, so much so that I just couldn't play it. My fingers were going numb, and this was from factory settings, so I don't know what's happening with Gibson there. I mean, should they really consider making a deal with the retailer to say to the customer, would you like a setup, and how do you like your action on your guitar, and get that to be done by an authorised Gibson dealer? I think so, really. I mean, the problems I've had with this, it's took me near on a year to really sort it out, and you know, get any enjoyment out of it, really. So now you'll notice the strings I've got on it are like steel. They're not phosphor bronze, because they're silken steel strings, because they're the only strings that I can actually play on this guitar comfortably. If I use the Sigma 00015, which is only a £300 guitar versus 1,700, so it's not shy of a £2,000 piece of equipment. This, a dream guitar for me it was. And I bought it blind, which you should never do with an acoustic guitar. But 2019, we were coming into the COVID, and then, you know, I'm thinking to myself, shall I send it back? And then I'm thinking, well, I can rectify and fix things, and I did. But my goodness, it was a labour of love. So yeah, so I don't think that Gibson should send the guitars out with that high of action, and expect, you know, I know a little bit about guitars, so I can tinker with them and move stuff around to try and make them right. But if you get somebody who hasn't got a clue, they're stuck with that, and that's not a very good advertisement for the Gibson name. So I had the same problem, more or less, with the Gibson Les Paul as well. So Gibson, wow. The Fenders seem to be quite good at intonating, and they're, you know, the electric guitars obviously, but the Sigma, you know, 00015 has played great from out of the box. I lowered the action on it, still no problems with intonation. I've got a set of, I think, 11 Martin strings on it now, and it's as easy to play as this guitar with 11 gauge phosphor bronze strings on. Wow, doesn't that say a lot? So I didn't get the heads up about this, that it had very tight string tension. I mean, it's a lovely guitar now to play, and you know, I can just do anything I want on it. So, finger style, rhythm, it's great for any of that, you know. But there's some of the things I would have liked to have known before I sort of put my money down on this and bought it. And I bought it sort of, yeah. So a lot of hard-earned money, but now it's worth it, and I'm keeping hold of it because obviously I've invested so much time and sort of, you know, love and care, putting it to be, getting it to, I should say, setting it up to be near as perfect as you can get a guitar. So now it sounds beautiful. So when I go, someone is going to get hold of this guitar, because I'm going to assume my son's going to sell off certain guitars, and when anybody gets hold of this guitar, they're going to pick it up and think, you know, wow, she's good, because someone else has had to do all the work. Now, I don't advise that, really. I think if I'm going to buy another guitar, I'll definitely go to a shop, probably be a Martin for the string tension thing, but I'll definitely won't want to just buy it blind off the internet. And a lot of these shops, you know, that when they get these consignments of guitars in, some of these shops have, they call it like private collections or whatnot, but really they're the guitars that are really good intonators and good players, but you're going to pay a premium price for those. And if you want one just off the general shop floor, you're gonna get one that's okay-ish. That's the thing there. So I suppose, and it's luck of the draw, isn't it, with them, a lot of these places, with the warehouses, with the people who don't have all these special collections and stuff. So yeah, very interesting stuff. Tommy Manuel's saying he could go into a guitar shop, play 10 guitars and not purchase one of them because he didn't like any of them, how they sounded. So you've got to like the instrument itself, you know. Yeah, and like that tone and how it plays and the action. The action on this one is pretty darn, she is low, really low. And as I say, it's so beautiful to so nice to play now. It really is a gorgeous guitar. Oh, yeah, I'll play you this bite about this with this street, this guy doing this street performance and his guitars. It's out of tune, and I'd be going insane. I remember one night on a gig, it was an electric guitar, it was a Fender Stratocaster, and I don't know what had happened, but the concert secretary had bumped into it or something, and he'd knocked the tuning pegs. Me and my partner went on stage, and of course we played to backing tracks because there was only two of us, so the bass, the drums, and the keyboards and things would come from a backing track. So the count-in came, we started to play, and of course I played my first chord in, and my partner just looked around at me thinking, you know, what is going on there? And I was like, no, stop. And I stopped, got my guitar in tune, and then we carried on, and it went fine. The crowd went mild. Now, what you mustn't do when you're setting your guitar or tuning up, you mustn't have too many of these, because you'll enter well, in a classical term, you'll enter a musical state known as Brahms and Liszt, and that is not good. So I'll play you this piece with this guy accompanying this young lady on a song. You'll just hear him playing his guitar a little bit, and whoa, it's, yeah, it needs a bit of tweaking. But I hope you have all enjoyed the bank holiday weekend, and I'll see you again soon. Too many of these before you try intonating your guitar, because it might end up sounding just like this. Till then, God bless and love.